Hello, everybody. Today we are going to be looking at how to create a safe space for change. My name's Sam. I'm a coach, a change consultant and career counsellor, and in my consultancy I work with one-to-one clients and larger organisations. I'm a qualified coach, a licensed career counsellor, and I specialise in imposter syndrome, and I'm delighted to be with you today. Make sure that you've got a pen and paper to hand. There'll be lots of things in here that you may want to reflect on. And please feel free throughout the session to pause when you feel necessary in order to take some notes and then restart when you're ready. So what are we going to be looking at? Well, the first one is, how do you create the right environment for change? How do you create that safe space? What are the steps that you could take as a manager? And what could you put in place as success measures? Now, success measures are important. They keep you on track and they provide moments of learning and celebration. But in my work and the work that I do with my clients, I believe that there should be a balance of metrics and stories. Metrics alone do not inspire change. People are motivated in two ways. They are motivated cognitively, so they need things to make sense. And boundaries and structure and goals are important. I'm not discounting that. But also, they need to feel an emotional connection to what is being shared and their part that they play in bringing things to life. So include people in setting your measures. A way to do this is to gather some data that can help you create that emotional connection to what it is you're trying to achieve. Questions such as, what are your people experiencing? And what is the impact of this? What do they want to achieve? And what would be the benefit, not only to themselves, but to the organisation that they work within? What ideas do they already have? I tend to find that the more senior we become in our careers, we seem to think that we need to have all the ideas ourselves. But it's amazing the creativity you can tap into when you start to talk to your audience. And what role can they play? If people feel connected and a part of the bigger picture of what you are trying to achieve, it is amazing how well and the progress that you can make in achieving what's set out to be just a set of metrics. The data that you can gather from this data grab can be used to create a vision statement, a framework that can incorporate the strategic goals of the business. To help you do this and to help you make the changes and bring that framework to life, I'd like to offer you my own. This is something called the FLAME framework. And I designed this in conjunction with IGD earlier in the year. And this is a framework to think about when you want to bring in change, when you want to be more inclusive, but also you want to create the stories as well as the metrics. Now, the way to bring in change is to create new thinking. So there is a program that I watched over lockdown called The Pioneer Woman, and it's a cookery program based in the US. She lives on a ranch, and there was one episode where her cowboy husband was setting fire to the fields outside, which I thought was just bonkers. Why are you setting fire to the fields? But actually what he was doing was burning away the old grass. And once that had settled, what it allowed it to do was for the new green shoots to appear. And I'd like you to think about that as I start to take you through the framework. So the first F is for foreground, the foreground that you create. There is a wonderful lady called Amy Edmondson. She is a professor at Harvard Business School, and she's done a wonderful TED talk that you might want to watch. But psychological safety is a belief that one will not be punished or humiliated for speaking up with ideas, questions, concerns, or mistakes. She shared that teams which made more mistakes were actually more successful than others. Why? Because creating an environment in which people felt comfortable to take risks is key to fostering innovation in the workplace. There are many models around about how to create great teams and great environments. If we think of Belbin or we think of Tuckman, and all models are partly true, but all of them are partly flawed. However, all of them are helpful. There are some similarities, though, that run between all of these models, and fundamentally that is psychological safety. It's about creating a safe space where someone can fully turn up and be part of a team. You can bring real accountability and healthy challenge, and you feel that you have real commitment and attention to results. Have you ever been in a meeting where no one voiced their opinions? There was not much discussion and people simply went along with what the manager said? A solid team should be able to bounce ideas off each other, strengthen action plans, and help solve issues and provide support to each other. So create an environment where everyone can be at the best, remove the sense of being judged, and bring in a sense of encouragement. You might want to pause now to think about what is the environment that you currently work within and the team and how they are thriving. Are there things that you could do to help your team feel more psychologically safe? The second part of the framework, the L, is for listen and hear. Encourage a no blame culture and an open forum to share. Misunderstandings often arise because of the fear of the consequences of saying something, and subsequently the situation deteriorates into a major incident, which could have been avoided with more open, honest dialogue. Encourage people to admit their biases. It's okay. There is another session that I've done for IGD that will be in the library on unconscious bias, and you may find that helpful. Be prepared to admit your own. It's the first step of growth, and it's one of the most important spaces of teamwork where everybody is their whole self. Take a moment now and just think about what kind of quality conversations do you have, and when was the last time that you truly heard somebody within the team without thinking about the solutions in your head? So the A is for ambition. As well as thinking about what needs to change right now, think about the future. What could you be doing right now that will create an inclusive and diverse future that you want? You know, things don't happen overnight, you know, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. But sowing those seeds, think about the field analogy, sowing those seeds now and starting to think about what will that allow to grow in the future is really important. Create and be involved in think tanks and project teams that are off agenda, but start to create an environment of cognitive diversity to really make a difference to your team or department. There is a need for a strong vision and a set of values to hold the organisation together and to provide key guidelines for empowered employees. These values usually include caring for customers and employees and are obviously exemplified by an improvement in the physical working conditions and increased opportunities for personal development. But think about, does this connect to your people? Think about heart leadership rather than head leadership and create a sense of excitement. If your workforce is spread at a distance, it's essential that they share the vision with you for the future. This can help motivate when people feel isolated by the distance. Ensure that you're really clear on your own organisation's policies. Again, take a moment, if you wish, to think about what is your ambition when you think about creating a safe environment and being inclusive. The M is mean it. So we talked about metrics being a usual mark of success, but please don't allow your intentions to become a tick box exercise. If I was to join your organisation, how would I experience your I&D culture? What are the stories I would hear? What are the things that I would see? Are people inspired by the culture that they work within and the work that they do? Be honest with yourself and be open to change. Treat everyone as an individual. Their job title or a psychometric result does not define who they are. Hold yourself and others to account when bias is at play. Make it part of your one-to-one conversations, that business as usual bit that you naturally do, but start to bring it in as a conversation rather than exchange of information. And create ground rules within the team that you hold each other to account for. And finally, education. What more do you need to know? Build awareness in your teams about their own biases and their vision for the future. You may have a set of organisational behaviours that you can align this to. And if you don't, it's worth opening up a conversation with the teams to share their personal experiences and agreeing a set of team behaviours and how you will keep each other on track with these. These should be points of celebration rather than a set of rules. So take a moment now. Think about, how safe do you feel in the environment that you're working in? Think about what are the things that you could do in order to create a safe environment for change, and bring your people on the journey with you so that you can be the inclusive, safe, creative, innovative space that you want to be within. Thank you.